Okay, it's been a while. Can I even remember how to do this? I mean, it can't be that hard, can it? Hello, thank you for clicking on the video. My name's Steve and this is Everyman Fragrances. Hello, my name's Steve and this is Everyman Fragrances. It has been a while since I've done one of these videos, so apologies for that. And also apologies if I've sort of forgotten how to do it and it's a bit shit. Today I want to talk to you about a fragrance that's been around a while and it's sort of a bit divisive. It's a bit unique, it's a bit weird and it confuses the hell out of me. Today I want to talk to you about Mancera's Aoud Lemon Mint. As I say, this fragrance has been around a while. It was actually released in 2016 and there's a lot of videos on YouTube about this, and it's those videos that actually piqued my interest. And it just, this fragrance is just quite unique and quite weird, and some people love it, some people hate it, and I just, even after watching all the videos, I still didn't know what I was buying into when I bought a bottle. It still felt, you know, it was a blind buy, but it felt very blind to me because I just didn't know what to get. I'm not a big oud fan. Loads of people say that there's not much oud in this, or you don't really get any oud. Some people say this is fresh, some people say it's cloying. I just did not know what to get with this fragrance, and somehow I was still really confused and surprised when I got it. Before I show you the fragrance itself, I do want to show you that bottle one more time because it is really cool. I do really like what they've done with this sort of colour gradient on the bottle. It's just really cool. It looks good in your collection. And the cap there's got a little bit of detailing on it and stuff like that. And Mancera's don't go overboard on the presentation, but they do something which I kind of like without kind of going over the top. So yeah, shout out to them. And something else I should say is their sprayers are always really good. So this is like a really long press atomizer. You get loads full, just a nice spray without it being too wide or too thin or just like too like a jet. They've just got really good atomizers on these as well, and it does have a magnetic cap as well. So yeah, loving the presentation on this. So what do I actually get from this fragrance when I smell it? As I say, I do get a fresh zestiness in the opening, which is not particularly strong. I wouldn't say it's a, you know, a real summer sort of freshy, as it were, but it's definitely like this sort of clean freshness that you get from the mandarin and the lemon in the top. But it's not, as I say, I must emphasize, it's not a synthetic kind of mandarin or lemon at all. It just comes across as sort of just quite fresh, really, but it's not a traditional, like real strong zesty freshness that you get from like a summer kind of freshie or a traditional summer scent. So I get that, and there is something else in there that it took me, I couldn't really place it, but then it's sort of obvious when I read the notes. I do get some of that almond that's listed in the top as well. Again, it's not a particularly strong note. So again, if you're not a huge fan of kind of almond, and I'm not really, don't let that put you off. Sometimes you like, it gets compared to like heliotrope as well. It smells similar to almond, and I'm not a big fan of almond or heliotrope, but again, this sort of somehow works. So you get this sort of fresh almondy, zesty kind of thing as it opens, with a little hint of sort of powderiness, and then as it starts drying down, it goes a little bit more woody. It keeps some fresh vibes, but that oud, as I said, and the sort of patchouli and that in the mid, it just starts coming through, and it gets just like this real clean, powdery wood that's kind of a bit fresh. It's like, honestly, this fragrance confuses me because the name's confusing, even the notes don't really kind of tell you what's going on. You just have to smell it. It's really unique. I've not really smelt much like this, and that's why I'm really glad I've got this in my collection. I'm happy to keep this. So yeah, in the simplest terms, that's what I get. I just get like a fresh kind of zesty in the opening, and then as it dries down, it gets progressively kind of more woody. That I'd say that almond dies down a little bit. It gets a bit more sort of woody, like just a powdery wood with a bit of freshness to it. And that powderiness is just really super clean. I think if you went really heavy on this in the high heat, that powdery vibe could get a bit choking, a bit cloying. But I've never had this. I just wouldn't wear this in high heat. But other than that, I think you could wear this all year round, as long as you don't go too heavy on the trigger. because of the scent itself and the fact that this trigger, as I say, is really good. I typically do like 2, maybe 3 sprays of this, because you get, I would say one of the sprays from this atomizer counts as like 2 or 3 sprays from a normal atomizer anyway. And it's a really sort of strong performing fragrance. Performance, as I said, is actually really good. Talking about performance, I get really good projection, but not annoyingly so. It's just noticeable. It's not gonna fill a complete room, but it will definitely get noticed, and it lasts. Like, I'd say pretty much every time I've worn this, well, not every time, but probably quite a few times, my wife's complimented me on this fragrance just out of nowhere. She's like, "Oh, you smell nice. Oh, that's a nice fragrance." And that's really rare. If you've followed this channel for a while, my wife rarely compliments my fragrances, or is that asked, to be honest. So the fact that she's sort of taken it upon herself, that I'd say that's a big, a big sort of tick for this fragrance, to be honest. It's a big surprise. Yeah, so it's definitely noticeable without being over the top, and but I think it could be just a bit cloying if you go heavy, but it doesn't project loads, it's just noticeable, and it lasts. If I spray this on in the morning before I go to work, when I get home at the end of the day, it's still noticeable. And quite frankly, that's good enough for me. If it lasts 9 till 5, boom, I'm happy. It will go on a little bit longer than that, but 9 to 5 is good for me. Yeah, basically, the takeaway from this is, no video, including this one, is going to really tell you, like, make this decision for you. You have to smell this fragrance for yourself and make your own judgment. The name certainly doesn't tell you a fucking thing about this fragrance. The notes don't really give it away. This video or any other YouTube video doesn't really tell you much. You just have to smell it for yourself and judge it for yourself. You really do, because this is quite divisive. You could easily love it. I really like this. My wife really likes this, which is really surprising. So I'm just really glad to have it in my collection. And it could easily be a sort of signature scent. You could easily wear this all year round, apart from in high heat. So there you go. Basically, the first video I've done in months is telling you that this video is next to useless, as are all the other YouTube videos, and I can't help you. You just have to go and smell this fragrance. So yeah, job well done there, Steve. Thank you for watching. I do really appreciate it. Do comment down below. Let me know what you think of this fragrance. As I say, no comments are going to help anybody. You've got to smell it. But by all means, share your opinion on this. I do really appreciate it, as do the other viewers. Thanks for watching. I do really appreciate it. And, hopefully it won't be another 3 months before I release another video. Take care. See you soon. Much love.